So I think most of you know that the Archon War was filled with destruction and chaos, but still out of many nations, few came as the victors of that war. But what if this Archon War happens again? Which nation will survive? So hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the What If series, and in today's video, we will be discussing about what if the Archon War happened again. And before starting off this video, I want you guys to like this video and subscribe this channel. So I will consider only 4 nations for the Archon War till now: the Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma and Snezhnaya. And we will be discussing on the strengths and weaknesses of all the nations, and in the end of the video I will tell you my opinion on what nation could survive the Archon War. Nation number 1, Mondstadt.
If one day I lose control, destroy Mondstadt.
So Mondstadt has a lot of weaknesses compared to strength. It's a very small nation with less military power compared to Liyue and Inazuma, and they don't have a lot of supernatural beings like the Adepti, Oni, Foxes, Envoys, etc. The only one is probably Devalin and maybe Albedo, and not to mention that they have the weakest Archon guarding them, and it's the tone-deaf god Venti. However, I believe Mondstadt's strength comes from the vision users like Kaya, Lisa, Jean, Eula, Albedo, Klee, Bennett, Noelle, Amber, Fischl, Mona, Razor and Dilute. And there are also Varka and Alice, who are also incredibly strong. But the best thing about Mondstadt is that the strength of their information networks, followed by their abundant natural resources. If I tell you in easy way, then Mondstadt cannot be seized. And sure, they are understaffed, but their geological locations make their borders easy to defend. Like Dragonspine is not a good way to enter Mondstadt because it is one of the most dangerous places in Teyvat. So there's only one option left for the enemies, and that is they have to go through Liyue, and it is bottlenecked by stone gates. Mondstadt is worst in open battle, but makes up for it through the sheer scope and utility of their allies, ability to spread misinformation, and their sabotage capabilities. Add Venti and there would be no secret hidden. All enemy plans would be laid bare, and the secret books and enemy strongholds accessible. In all-out war, unless the strike is quick enough that it can't be defended against, unless and until that condition, Mondstadt is very difficult to take down. Nation 2, Liyue. So Liyue is the opposite of Mondstadt. It has more strength than weaknesses. It has a lot of resources and wealth, strong military power, and has adeptis like Xiao and Ganyu and Cloud Retainer, etc. And also one of the strongest Archons, Zhongli. Zhongli is also the oldest of the Archons, so he has probably the most experience in war and battle. They also have the Liyue Chishing Ningguang, Keqing, and a powerful captain in Beidou who can help in naval battle. The issue I have with Liyue is most of their vision users are actually kids, and I don't know if people like Xingqiu, Jiangling, Hotao, Xinyan, etc. have the guts to help out when an Archon War happens. The way I see it, it's mostly Zhongli, Liyue Chishing, Lilith, and Adeptis doing the job. However, as I see it, Liyue would suffer most in the Archon War, simply because they have a trading hub. Regular trade with enemies stops in war, and I think Liyue frankly doesn't produce much on their own. And although they have the largest stockpile, their survival cost is also high. Can't export or import, and their specialty isn't conducive to maintaining morale. That said, their military is the most disciplined, and their innate terrain gives much attack and defense. However, they're also stuck between at least 3 nations, having to defend against all 3. Nation number 3, Inazuma. So Inazuma is also a very powerful nation. Much like Liyue, they have the money, military power, and a powerful Archon in Raiden Shogun. They also have Onis like Ito and Tengu in Sara, and Goro, Ayaka, Kazuha, Toma, both skilled with the blades and fighting. They have a very talented strategist, Kokomi, who can probably be Raiden's right hand in making strategies in the Archon War. They have Yoimiya, who can probably help by setting up traps as a distraction, and Sayu as a spy for the Shogunate. They have all the necessary weapons to win the Archon War. However, my problem with Inazuma is their internal conflict. They are divided as a nation. How much is Kokomi, Goro, Kazuha, and other vision users willing to help out Raiden Shogun when an Archon war happens? It's difficult to say, because the way I see and feel it, it's most likely Raiden is the one who is going to do all the work. And yeah, Inazuma is very isolated. It's hard to get in Inazuma and get out of it, which makes their human attacks very weak and easy to defend against. And it also strengthens their defense. Being so far from everything, it takes a very long time to switch between attacking and defending, so human efforts are weak. On the other hand, if the Shogun joins, they can focus on defense while the Archon attacks because she deals the highest burst damage that even other Archons fear. And nation number 4, Snezhnaya. Honestly, this nation is who I think will win against the 3, and I'll explain why. Cause Snezhnaya is a powerhouse. They have the technology. I'm assuming Khanvya stack. They probably have weapons of mass destruction that can kill both gods and humans. The Savitsa, who have 3 noses, is now a more powerful and formidable threat than before. They also have high military power with the Fatui and diplomatic relations, which means they can easily form an alliance with other nation to destroy the opposing nation in their path. Lastly, they have the 10 Fatui Habengers. I am not counting Signora. So yeah, these all Habengers are highly strong individuals gathered all over Teyvat to crush the divine. And they have people like Perio, who is probably their technician and mastermind, Child, who has abyss powers, vision and delusion, Scaramouche, who is basically a god, and Dotor, who is capable of making man-made Archons with the Archon residue, and many more they have yet to be introduced. The issue I have with Snezhnaya is just like Inazuma, which is internal conflict, since the Habengers have ulterior motives and might betray the Savitsa. So yeah, it can be possible, but I think even if it is possible, Snezhnaya will come out on top because of the reasons I have given. And yeah, this is the complete video. If you want more videos on the What If series, then comment down below and also tell us which nation is your favorite. So now, thanks for watching.